does uploading more on YouTube actually grow your channel faster? Because on one hand, posting more frequently gives you more shots on goal, more opportunities for your video to get picked up by the algorithm, and more chances for your channel to get discovered. But on the other hand, quality over quantity, right? We always hear big YouTubers emphasizing the importance of making the best video possible.
I just want to make the best videos on the planet.
And you can only do that if you have enough time to devote to making the best video that you can. And for most of the last year, that's a philosophy that I subscribed to. And I would upload them whenever they were ready, even if that meant taking months working on a single video. And while I was incredibly proud of those videos, to wrap up last year and start this year off with a bang, I decided to do something a little different. I would make 4 videos in 4 weeks. I figured it would be a good experiment to see if uploading more on YouTube actually helped your channel grow faster. But before we jump into the analytics, some context. This 4 videos in 4 weeks challenge was performed on my main channel, and I knew that I would not be able to do it alone. So this is also when I hired my first full-time team member, Joel. Everyone say hi Joel in the comments because he's been absolutely crushing it. Joel is my producer, and there is no way I could have done this challenge in this way without him. But let's take a look at what uploading consistently for 1 month did to my channel. And looking at my uploads over the last year, frankly, my upload schedule was embarrassing. And I do have reasons for this frankly embarrassing upload schedule. I got a concussion in the first, I think, week of the year, so that took me out for a pretty long time in the beginning of the year. I had a family member pass in April, and that kind of took me out of anything content creation wise for a while. But honestly, the biggest reason for the lack of a consistent upload schedule was just because of my own perfectionism. I would spend way too long working on a single video and feeling like it was never really good enough or ready enough to upload, which is why it just took so incredibly long in between uploads. So let's take a look at what the views were like during most of this year while the uploads were very inconsistent. So we can see that the highest viewed day was over here October 2nd with 9,393 views. I think the lowest viewed day was over here September 7th at 1,812 views on that day. And then overall, we can see spikes on upload days over here. And the spikes were anything between 9K views to like 4-ish K views on the upload day spikes. But in general, in the beginning of the year, coming off of that viral video in December, we can see views around like 3.5K-ish in February. And then that dropped down to around like 2.5-ish K in April. When we were in August, it was still around 2.5-ish K. But then towards the very end of the year, we were getting low, like down to around 2,000 views per day. And the reason for this overall downward trend throughout the year is because when you're uploading that inconsistently and that infrequently, you really are relying on those few videos that you upload to be bangers. You are relying on those views to carry over and last you through those periods of time in between when you are not uploading. And in theory, you know, that's great. You can spend a lot of time working on a single video, making it the best that you possibly can, and hopefully it is a banger. But this is also YouTube, and for the majority of us, video success is not guaranteed. I think it's a pretty universal experience to have where you spend so much time pouring everything that you have into a video, and then you upload, and then it didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to. And if you're uploading more frequently, that's okay. You have other videos that you can make, and maybe one of those will do the way in which you would have hoped. But when you're only uploading, like in my case, literally 5 times in the entire year, then the pressure for each one of those videos to perform well becomes much higher. And because of that, if we take a look at the period of time directly before my 4 videos in 4 weeks challenge, we can see that overall in this selected period, which I said 4 videos in 4 weeks, it was closer to 4 videos in 5 weeks. So we'll set the time longer so we can compare apples to apples in terms of the timelines. But in this period of time, we got 87.5K views, 6.9K watch hours, 1.7K subscribers and made around $555 during this time. The average views per day during this time was around 2-ish K, dipping down even some days under 2K. And subscriber-wise, I was getting between 30 to 50-ish subscribers per day. And if we take a look at the money side, we're making more around $16-ish per day. But now let's take a look at what the analytics were like during the period of this challenge. So we can see that during this period of time, I uploaded 4 times, pretty consistently in between. And we brought in 181,000 views, 16.1K watch hours, 4.3K subscribers, and over $1,000. Now, if we take a look at views, we can see that we do have these upload day spikes, and that we were expecting. But what's really interesting is that towards the end there, the view day spikes were the highest we've seen all year long. This day, this upload day, was the highest view day of this entire year. So going back to the dates of our challenge, we can see that the in-between times between uploads were also higher as well. Towards the end of the last period, we were down to 2,000 views per day going into it. Immediately, we have more like 3,000-ish to 2.5K-ish. Then it's very similarly here, but towards the end, we were at over 4K per day, even in between uploads towards the end of this. And if we take a look at subscriber count, the previous period we were around 30 to 50 per day. And here we can see it's more like 60s, 70s, 80s, towards the end, over 100 per day, even in between uploads. And if we take a look at the first 3-day performance of these videos, we can see that we have a 7 out of 10, a 6 of 10, a 4 of 10, and a 2 of 10 when it comes to first 3-day performance, which is a pretty solid and positive spread. The 2 of 10 here is especially incredible to see because besides my second most viral video of all time, which is that 1 of 10, it's been doing pretty darn good and is the highest performance start of a video that I've had all year. But did uploading more lead to more money? And the answer is yes, but not as much as you think. If we take a look at the money side of things, we can say I've made over $1,000 during this period of time. But in the last period, I didn't upload a single time and I still brought in $555. So despite uploading 4 times versus 0, we only have less than double the amount of money that I was able to bring in during this period of time, which is especially interesting considering that views-wise, we brought in over 100,000 more views than in the period before. So still, obviously on the money side, there is a large increase, but not as much compared to the increase in views. So was uploading more on my channel worth it? On one hand, across all fronts metric-wise, it was an absolute success. We had green arrows all across the board. More views, more subscribers, more AdSense, and significantly more sponsorship revenue. And beyond those metrics, viewer engagement was the highest I've seen all year. The comments were remarkably positive, and a number of people even commented that these videos during this time frame was their favorite that I've ever uploaded on my channel. And a big part of the reason why I set off on this challenge in the first place is because over the last year, with the infrequent upload schedule that I've had, I felt like all of the momentum that my channel had in 2023 just kind of died in 2024. And I was hoping that by uploading more, it would bring that momentum back. And I can very confidently say that it absolutely did. For the first time in a very long time, the channel feels alive. So in terms of whether or not uploading more leads to faster channel growth, I can say that at least in this case, for me, it absolutely did. But something that we haven't talked about is what needed to happen behind the scenes in order to have this pace of production while maintaining the video quality that we maintained during this period of time. Because I won't lie, it was brutal. And Joelle and I both knew that this period of time would be hard, that it would be a grind, and we did our very best to prepare for it, but even so, it was just so incredibly tough. And keeping this pace of production, at least at this video quality, at least for us, would not be sustainable long term at all. But that doesn't mean that we're going to let the channel momentum die. So instead of 5 uploads an entire year, we're going to be aiming for monthly uploads. And those main channel monthly uploads will be supplemented by 2 second channel uploads like these per month. So when it comes to deciding on your own upload schedule, I think if there's anything that I learned from this challenge, it is to stay consistent. Because having that consistent upload structure prevents you from falling into more perfectionistic tendencies and just tweaking your video and trying to make everything perfect, and then waking up and realizing one day that it's been 3 months since you last uploaded on YouTube. Because at the end of the day, momentum does matter. And in order to build momentum, you need to post. Speaking of posting, the next video will be a complete breakdown of what the exact production process was behind the making of the 4 videos of this challenge. So if you're interested in the nuts and bolts of how everything actually came together and what it was like working with somebody else during this period of time, keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you can, keep creating, and I'll see you in the next video.